Happy Friday, friends. Wow. I can't believe it's finally Friday. Very happy about that. Sorry, that was really loud music blaring in my ears. Happy to have you guys all here, whether you're joining on YouTube, whether you're joining on Instagram. So happy to have you guys here. Just want to make sure that all the streams are up and running now that I'm talking. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. It's Friday, so naturally, I really want to sing that. It's Friday, right? I want to sing that song. It's one of my favorite songs. But I don't know if you guys saw this. Probably not, but I have one of my favorite podcasts. It's not like a smart podcast or it's a funny podcast. It's a funny, girly podcast about pop culture. And I believe they right now are being sued by Rebecca Black for the singer of that Friday song, okay? Which is absurd. Like, I don't play the song. People just sing it, and now Rebecca Black is suing them. But, shit, Rebecca, if you're going to put out such a bop, why you get mad if people like it? Just kind of verging on ungrateful, if you ask me, okay? But if you're here, let me know in the chat box. If you're on Instagram, the best way to view this is on YouTube. So you can X out, go to the link in my bio, join our YouTube page, all that stuff. That's the best way to chat with me. But I'm going to leave this open the whole time, so don't worry if you just like watching on here. Same with Twitter. Twitter, so happy to have you here. But if you want to get the best quality, the best experience, be sure to head over to YouTube. YouTube peeps, pipe up where you at. I know that you're here. Say hello. Happy to have you. So here's what I have on the docket for today's live stream. So a woke barber, and there's no other way to describe this person other than wildly woke, is getting ripped on TikTok for asking people whether or not she can touch their hair. Duh, you can touch my hair. I'm there to get it cut. I also want to talk about transgender swimmer Leah Thomas. He is suing the Olympics to swim in Olympics women's swimming, I guess. And I've given a lot of thought to this, okay? I have some hot takes about this, and I really want to talk about it. And we also all know, this is moving into kind of a more serious topic later on. We know what the biggest medical scandal of the modern era is. It's doctors administering transgender care to minors. And there's a video going viral about, it just really emphasizes how grossly negligent doctors are right now. So we'll get into all of that today. John, so happy to see you, man, in the comments. So happy you moved over from TikTok over here. And Scott, thanks for moving over from Instagram to YouTube. Happy to have you here. Okay. Before we get into all the things I want to talk about today, which is a lot, I do need to let you know that today's live stream is sponsored by Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile, the best people. I work with them, and they're actually just so genuinely kind because they are the only Christian conservative wireless carrier out there. When you guys switch over to Patriot Mobile, you're shifting your support from leftist progressive losers to Christian conservative causes like Patriot Mobile. You're fueling the red economy, and you'll also be supporting this show. So be sure to go to patriotmobile.com/Chrissy or click the link below to change your cell phone service. All right. Let's get into today's first story. So people are upset with this TikTok barber for talking so much about absolute nonsense. She's best known for asking her clients whether she can touch their hair when they're in the sea to get their hair cut. And she also asks people for their pronouns, and she'll share her pronouns, and then she changes her pronouns routinely in her videos. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. For my TikTok audience, or not TikTok, sorry, for my Instagram audience, just as a heads up, you can listen, but if you want to watch the videos with me, be sure to head over to YouTube. Like I said, link in the bio. Okay.
Okay, is it okay if I touch you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what are your pronouns?
They, them.
She, they. I'm glad we exchanged those.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad that you came in today to give me the opportunity to talk about what it's like when we grow out our hair from a shaved head. Because that's what happened, right?
It's so weird. So she consistently says, can I touch your hair? Can I touch your hair? What else would I be coming to a barber shop? Why would I be coming to get my hair cut if I didn't want you to touch my damn hair, okay? I wouldn't show up if I wasn't interested in that. I don't need consent by showing up at the barber shop, sitting in your chair. I am offering you, that is the consent when I sit down, okay? That's the consent right there. So I'm a little lost on what's going on there. Let's keep watching.
Your message.
Yeah.
So, do you have an end goal for how long you want your hair to be at all? Let's start there.
I mean, eventually I want my hair long enough to put it in Liberty spikes, but
Yes.
eventually.
How tall would a Liberty spike be on you? What would be your
The
your
dream spike
goal?
would be like here.
Oh my gosh, these freaking weirdos. They're like, well, I shouldn't even get into the fact that this is a person wearing a collar saying that they want Liberty spikes up to here. I can't even TikTok, or it's like so high. It's so weird. And the way she asked her pronouns at the beginning, it's like, I am just here to get my hair cut. I don't need your insistent annoyance over and like fuddy-duddying over little tiny things that sincerely don't matter. I'm seeing in the comments right now people saying like, if someone asked my pronouns, I'm leaving. It's so cringy. And a lot of people genuinely thought that this was a parody. Like, people were like, there's no way that this is real, right? No, guys, it's real. And comments about this, someone named John Barr said, in what world would you go for a haircut and not consent to having your haircut? I mean, that was my first question, was like, why would you sit down? Like I said before, you sit down in the chair. I'm sitting down in the chair. I am consenting to you touching my hair. And if I change my mind, I will let you know. But by dint of me sitting in that chair, like, I consent for you to touch my, I just, these people are exhausting. And I think that was like another general take when I was going through the comments, is people were like, this is genuinely exhausting to have to say your pronouns every single time someone talks about them. Give like consent for you to touch my hair when I'm paying you to touch and cut my hair. I loved this comment too. This person didn't even have, there's no name, just a bunch of hearts. And the comment said, if they say no, will you be cutting the hair by imagination? Like, in the grand scheme of things, you're on your grind to get your cutting the hair to make money, right? So someone sits down in your chair, you say, can I touch your hair? And they say, no. Well, what do you do? How are you going to make your buck? How are you going to do anything about that? What are you going to do? Okay? You're just going to say, all right, I guess thank you so much for coming in. Let's have a conversation for 30 minutes and then I won't pay you? Or like, do you still charge people for your imaginary hair? Right? Like, such a good point. I see some TikTok comments. If someone asked me, I'm so sorry. I'm going to sound like a grandma doing this. I can't read that far. Like, I can't read that far. If someone asked me, it might be off-putting even enough for me to say, no, this is so weird, I might leave. Does she pre-charge? Okay. God, I look like such a grandma. I'm 26, guys, and I can barely read without my glasses. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, is it necessary to pre-charge? I feel like it is necessary to pre-charge for something like this. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole ordeal. And while you guys are chiming in, like, actually, I have a scenario for you guys. Would you stay? Like, let's say you show up at Scouts Barber, wherever, Sports Clips, okay? You show up at Sports Clips and someone does this to you. Do you sit in the chair and stay? Drop that in the comments while I show you this next video, which is comical. I should say it's titled Woke Barber versus Ethnic Barber.
Okay, is it okay if I touch you?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, if I touch you. Go right ahead.
Before we get started, do you mind if I touch you?
How else are you gonna cut my fucking hair?
Do you mind if I touch you?
Are you serious, bro? Just cut my hair.
Is it cool if I touch you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
It's usually just customary that I ask the person before I touch them.
Just cut it, cuz.
And what were your pronouns?
She, they.
She, they too.
Yay!
Look at us, we're twins.
He, him.
She, her.
And what are your pronouns?
Are you fucking serious, bro? Just cut my hair.
What are your pronouns?
They, them.
She, they. I'm glad we exchanged those.
Yes.
And what are your pronouns?
Listen, bro, I don't do that shit.
Bro, don't fucking touch me. Don't. I'm out of here. Fuck off.
Oh, that's good. It's shit. I love when people are making fun of this stuff and go viral on TikTok. Like that one really viral on TikTok. And I love it, right? Let's look into the comments and see what you guys thought about all of this. But actually, before I go into the comments, oh wait, no, I can't. Someone is saying, no, I'd leave. I'm out of there. I'm not playing the pronoun crap. Someone else said, I'd leave because I don't want their cooties. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard the word cooties in so long. Bring back cooties. Should I make that like my, should I make merch that just says, bring back cooties? That'd be really freaking funny. Like, I really do. I want to be at a point where I'm like, just no. Just no. Okay? I do want to note that people were pointing it out in that whole montage, the ethnic versus woke Barber, that the Barber changed her pronouns like so many times throughout the video. She was she, her. She was she, they. She was a they, them. I don't even know. Like, it's one thing to say your pronouns, but when you change them every minute, like, you cannot expect people to keep up with you. All right, let's read some comments. I see Scott said, if someone asked me my pronouns, I'm leaving. John said, already I know one barber in the world I would never go to, and that's the one right there in the video. I do wonder where she's from. I have no idea. Someone else said, they're going to start asking for tips just for telling their pronouns. Wait, that's so funny. They're going to start asking for tips just because you tell them their pronouns. It's like the coffee shops. They have their like she, her pins on their little ensembles. And it's like, what, am I supposed to tip you because you're mentally delusional? I would rather pay your copay for you to go get like some sort of mental help. That's really mean, but it's kind of true. Better than, I don't know, than paying like $9 for a $9 cup of coffee, because that's what it costs nowadays. Sandy said, if they say no, maybe she'll teach them how to do it at home. Maybe, who knows? It's all really funny. You guys are a funny group today. I don't know what's going on, but like, I don't know what you guys are up to, but it's just like, maybe we started having a good time a little too early on Friday. Is that what's going on? I don't know. I'm seeing Nick. Nick, hey man, good to see you. You said it'd be fun to screw with them and change pronouns, or if they can touch me, or say they can't touch you throughout the haircut. That'd be funny. Mike said I should get Chrissy Clark's cooties t-shirts. Should we make that to merch? It's never crossing the line, guys. I think it's so frickin' funny. Okay, tea break. I went to like a really, really hard workout yesterday. And I've been learning all about how to like kind of come back after a tough workout. Obviously lots of protein and blah, 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 blah. But ladies, if you're out there looking for a quick solution, if you get like me, like I get really bloated after workouts, like my muscles just kind of like expand. I get a little swollen in the arms. Dandelion root tea. It's amazing. Okay. So tea break. And then let's get into the next topic, which I'm going to be honest. If you don't have a sense of humor, maybe just leave. Because I've really thought about this long and hard, and I think I'm right about it. So anyway, I say that to say this. Let's read this article together. But basically, let me give you a little bit of premise. I want to talk about Leah Thomas. There's a bill coming out of the House of Representatives to keep trans-identifying men out of U.S. women's Olympics teams. And I want to read this article, but at the same time, this is all happening. This bill is happening on Capitol Hill as a response to Leah Thomas threatening to sue the Olympic Committee for barring him from participating in the Olympics. And let's just read the article, okay? It says, a Republican representative from Florida announced a new bill on Thursday that would ban trans identifying men from competing in Olympic or amateur sports. Okay? Off the bat, I'm like, okay, great idea. Blah, 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 random information we don't need to know. Along with the post, this congressman was talking about how there's a transgender policy in 2024 now, adopted by USA Boxing, that allows trans-identifying men to compete as women if they have completed sex reassignment surgery and maintain testosterone below a certain level for 3 years prior to their first competition. Obviously, this is problematic to many because we're like, hey, just because you get sex reassignment surgery doesn't mean you didn't undergo male puberty and therefore, you're at an advantage already. And then maintaining testosterone below a certain level, that's fine, but you had testosterone through your puberty, in which case, you're already going to be naturally stronger. You're going to be in a more advantageous place. Let's say that. Okay? So they're talking about this as a bill, outlawing it. And I see somebody, Haley, saying size matter or size difference too. Yes, males are obviously going to grow taller. They're going to have different bone length, bone density, size in general, wingspan, all the things. So there's bills in the House and at the Senate right now to essentially bar Leah Thomas and other people from Olympic sports. But y'all, I have a hot take. Okay, so again, if you're not in the mood to laugh, get the fuck out of here, all right? I'm going to preface this by saying I am not pro men in women's sports, not at all. I never have been, I never will. You cannot tell me that it's appropriate for men to get into a swimming pool or boxing arena with young girls. That's not safe. It's not safe for the girls, especially when it's physical. Even take away the physical aspects in some sports, golf, swimming, etc. It's still not fair that men who underwent male puberty have higher rates of testosterone, larger frames. They get to compete against women. It's not okay. But I say all of that to ask you, why in the world is Leah Thomas allowed to swim in college sports, but the second we have to swim on an international Olympic level against the doped out Russians, we're not putting our best players forward? Okay? Tell me that. Explain me that. You're telling me it's important that American college athletes lose their title to Leah Thomas, but on an international stage, when we want to win against dictatorial regimes and lose our women, now we're not putting the trans women out there? For real? You want me to get on board with transgender women or men in the pool or whatever? Stop putting them in front of our girls. Start putting them in front of the Russian bitches. That's what I'm saying. And listen, I don't even know. I'm not really meaning this, but I'm just like, if you do want people to get on board with this whole thing, drape the transgenders in USA flags, get them all chanting USA, USA, and then absolutely crush our political enemies in a swimming pool. That's how you're going to sign me up. That's how you're going to win me over. I'm obviously kidding. I do not think on a sincere level that any man pretending to be a woman belongs in women's sports on a local, national, international level. What I am pointing out is how freaking absurd it is that we don't utilize the transgender people in our country to the best of our ability as a nation. We only use them to crush the hopes and dreams of American women, and I feel like we could be doing a better job of that on an international stage. I don't even know. I'm not suggesting that this is a good idea. It just came to my mind and I had to get it all out, I liked this comment. Someone said that other countries wouldn't allow it because it's absurd and we shouldn't allow it either. Oh, 100%. I'm not suggesting we should allow it. I'm suggesting that if we are going to allow it at any period, it shouldn't happen against our girls. Go swim against the Russians. Go swim against the Chinese. Do it against people we already don't like. Why are you doing it against athletes we care about and love? You know what I mean? Again, I didn't think that anybody was going to be like, this is the best idea ever, Chrissy. But I think I'm funny. So I'm just going to roll with it. Okay? I am. So anyway, if you guys have thoughts on that, if you have any thoughts on whether Leah Thomas or Olympic teams should be allowed to have, biological men on the team. Obviously, I'm going to assume if you're logged on to this live stream, you're not really in favor of that. But with that said, what happens when other teams have transgender athletes? Like, at what point did the Olympics matter to us as an American society? Because, like, I think I would gladly say, no, we're not putting transgender men in this because we are a country and a society that believes in, you know, reality. We're not putting biological men in women's sports on an international stage. What happens when Europe starts doing it? Seriously, what happens when, I don't know, France starts putting transgender people in the Olympics? Like, do we care more about winning, so we put the transgender people from America in, or not? Let me know in the comments. I'm seeing Alex, you got here late. Alex, my friend, you missed quite a Chrissy Clark rant. I don't usually rant like that hard, but that was interesting. I also, while you guys are throwing comments, said, got this new crisscross chair. Usually you guys know I have the one that, like, I had the backseat. Ooh. This one kind of floats around, but it's very comfy. I can sit my legs crisscross applesauce, so I like that. Anyway, I'm seeing people saying the Olympic Committee should not allow it. Absolutely not. Like, but I'm just saying the Olympic Committee all has to get on board. So they don't get on board. This is my hypothetical, okay? They don't get on board with it. What happens? Do we let people in? I want to know. I want to know your thoughts, okay? Again, I'll take a tea break, let you guys put some comments in. And while you do that, we'll get ready for our next thing. No trans in the Olympics. Let them have their own games themselves. Ooh, okay. Not a bad point. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Scott said, what happens is I stopped caring at all about it. Okay. Yeah, maybe we just stop caring about the Olympics. The Olympics will go down. Olympics will go downhill if we add the trannies. Maybe that's weird to say, or rude to say. I don't really care. All right, shall we get into our next topic? Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? I don't know, sorry. Ooh, I can't sing. I forget. I might get sued for this. You guys hearing about this? It's insane. People are saying, like, if you sing their songs, they'll start suing you. What the heck? What in the heck? All right. Well, this next topic will blow your frickin' mind, okay? Well, maybe. Who knows? You might just be used to this shit by now, but it's more gender garbage woo-woo. All right, Scott says he's ready. Let's do this. Okay, so there's a viral clip going around of a woman and her son who believe he's a boy at a doctor's office. And the doctor explains how they're going to implant this young boy with puberty blockers. And then the boy should be able to get on cross-sex hormones within a 2-year period so he can't go through male puberty. I'm warning you now that this clip is not for the faint of heart. I cannot fully watch it because I get really squirmish with needles. So this is a warning to you. Again, if you are on Instagram and you like to watch things with me, head over to YouTube, okay? Link in the bio. YouTube peeps, X peeps. Just a warning, okay? Listening will have the same impact, so feel free to just listen. Because again, it makes me squirmish too. All right.
Dr. Olson had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think.
So let's be clear. This is a 11-year-old boy who very much looks, I mean, you can't deny it, looks like a girl. And there's a doctor saying, we're going to put you on cross-sex or puberty blockers right now. And then at the age of 13, we'll put you on cross-sex hormones. Okay, let's keep listening.
Yes, you're not going to develop breast buds on the blockers. But you're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Josie received the blockers as an implant in her arm.
It's okay if you cry.
So with all the bravery she could muster,
Now you're going to feel a little bit of a
Josie held on tight
stinging one. That part's
as another chapter opened in this young girl's life.
They're really doing their best to make it seem like, oh, it's so good for this young boy to be getting needles shoved into their arm full of things that are going to stop them from going through normal puberty. Like the way that they changed maybe it's just like my producer brain going, but I'm like, why in the world are you allowing this to happen? Why are you allowing, not only like to record all of this and like get this, but then why are you like adding the upbeat music to it? Trying to make everybody seem super happy about this. This is not a happy thing. This is a very scary thing.
closing up the skin.
A lot of times it strikes me that had this happened just 20 years ago,
Thank you.
I wouldn't have been able to give her blockers, and she would have had to go through male puberty.
So she says, 20 years ago, this wouldn't have happened. This boy who believes he's a girl would have had to go through male puberty. Yeah, because 20 years ago we were sane. Somewhat. I mean, not like really, but like we were kind of sane, right? Ugh. Not anymore. Everything's for money now.
That terrifies me.
It's all done. Do you want a hug?
I don't know that she would have survived male puberty.
It's disgusting. It's literally disgusting what this is doing. This is, first of all, let's just talk about the doctor. The doctor this is malpractice, okay? It is malpractice. Puberty blockers by design are created and approved by the FDA to stop what we call precocious puberty. Precocious puberty is when mostly girls, but sometimes boys start puberty way too early and it makes them really uncomfortable. They get their periods too early. There's just a lot of things, okay? It's really uncomfortable stuff. And you get on a puberty blocker for like a year and then you get off the puberty blocker and everything starts going back to normal, okay? Then your body starts to pick things up. Puberty blockers, when they're used for transgender care, completely stops puberty. Then and you use it for way longer than it's supposed to be prescribed by the FDA or approved by the FDA. And then after that, they'll do 2 years on that. And then after that, they'll put kids on cross-sex hormones, which if you're a boy, you'll get on estrogen. If you're a girl, you'll get on testosterone, if that makes sense. It's disgusting. Okay. And this doctor is allowing this. When I was working at the Daily Caller, we put together a really awesome documentary called Damaged. And in the documentary, I talk a lot to a doctor at Mount Sinai Hospital. His name is Dr. Joshua Safer. And oh my gosh, guys, this guy is so into pushing this transgender care to a point where he doesn't even see the obvious flaws of what he's doing. Using FDA products off-label, or not even off-label, but using them outside of the scope of what you're supposed to use them for, it's disgusting. So that is like the doctor portion of it, which is incredibly concerning, like beyond belief, okay? And then let's get into the comments really quick because I see them piling up. I see you guys saying this is insanity. It's being scary is why they need the happy music. Yeah, it being scary is why we need the happy music is actually a good thing. They wouldn't need the music to trick your mind. Of course, yeah, it is a mind trick. As a producer, I kind of know this. You use music to trick people into seeing things through a certain lens. And so they're trying to make this really disgusting act of mutilating a young boy into a young girl. It's terrifying. It's not normal. Mike, you said too many kids grow up wishing they didn't go through this. Yes, we're talking about detransitioners, obviously. And then John said this is the absolute abuse of this child should be criminal. Alex, you said whatever happened to do no harm. It's lost. It's lost on these people. It's child abuse. And there are a lot of people that are calling for the doctor. Excuse me. Sorry. there are a lot of people calling for this doctor to have her license revoked for what she's doing. This is very obvious that people are saying this. It's a common criticism. But one of the other common pushbacks that I think is honestly more disgusting is pushing this transgender agenda on your child. And what that is called commonly is Munchausen by proxy syndrome, or some people call it Munchausen syndrome by proxy. I'm not quite sure which it is. But it's actually, if you're familiar with the story, it's actually what Gypsy Rose Blanchard's mom had. And since Gypsy Rose Blanchard is the name on everyone's frickin' lips this day, it's just interesting that, you know, these are the two things. We talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and she's this hero, right? Somehow she's a hero. I don't agree with it, but she's like a hero in America's eyes for saying, oh, you know, we have this crazy mom, and she unalived, and I don't use that as a woke word. I use that as like a word so I don't get dinged in the algorithm. She unalived her mom solely because her mom had Munchausen by proxy syndrome. But then when it comes to this whole transgender ideology, it's not the same. It's not taken the same. But if you don't know what this whole Munchausen syndrome by proxy is, it's like a psychological disease where caretakers get a high from the attention that their child gets from being ill. So in Gypsy Rose's case, her mom was getting a high off of constantly taking care of her, getting her attention for how sick Gypsy Rose was sick. So she just faked all these illnesses for Gypsy Rose, kept her on pills, kept her on doctor's appointments. And this, to me, this is no different. It's just done in the name of something that is ideologically important to political progressives, right? To me, there's no difference between Gypsy Rose's mom faking an illness to get attention for her daughter and a mom who is pushing their child to be the opposite sex. So yeah, there's another clip that many people online are saying fully indicates that this woman, this mom, has Munchausen syndrome by proxy. So I want to show you guys this other clip. Oops, excuse me. Again, if you're watching on Instagram, be sure to head over to YouTube for the best experience.
Everything I thought I knew is kind of in question.
Had Vanessa's wholehearted, unwavering support of Josie's transition actually pushed her child too far, too fast?
So that's a good question. Is by the mom or the dad of a child who believes they're transgender, when they're all in on it, is it too far? Like, does it push the kid? Because sometimes, and I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes it is a good psychological question to ask, like, hey, are these kids really doing this because they genuinely feel this way? Or are they saying they're transgender because they're looking for attention? They're looking for a way to, like, rebel. You know, we all used to rebel against our parents. I personally didn't start doing it till I was like 18, and I decided my rebellion was going to be, it's the most mundane thing, but I was like, I am not going to the college my parents want me to go to. I'm going to go to a different college. So lame. I'm so lame. Like, comparatively to everybody else, it was very lame. But I feel like this is a common thing, right? That kids, they want to get attention. They want to rebel against their parents. And so they kind of go into this trans thing. But then there are some parents who are like all in on it. And I think the parents have to wonder, hey, are you doing something right? Are you actually helping your kid by doing this? I don't think so. But I don't know. Let's keep watching this video.
The thought of her having made such a huge decision in her life, all based on what she thought I wanted, that would be traumatic for me. That would be traumatic for me. That would be traumatic for me.
Okay, that is just that's good. It's good at it. It was funny. It is traumatic though for the kids, right? It's traumatic for them to have to undergo any of this transgender stuff. So why parents want this for their kids is kind of beyond me. It kind of reminds me of, this is maybe a little too far, but there was this video of oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. Come to me, Chrissy, come to me. Oh, I remember this woman. She's a black woman on TikTok holding her baby, and she was like holding the baby, swinging it, and said like, you could be whatever you want, but please be gay baby, be a gay baby. It's so weird. It's truly this weird obsession with wanting your kid to have attention and constantly get attention. It's odd. It's very odd. Anyway, I think I'm ready to move on to the next clip, unless you guys, or our next topic, unless you guys have anything else in the comments. I'll give it a second. Wait to hear what you guys have to say besides it's child abuse, because, like, duh, it's child abuse. But other than that, I guess I'm ready to head on to our next topic if you guys are, which is another wild story. So, Black History Month. It's upon us, guys. And that means there's going to be a lot of insane stories you're going to see over the next month about teachers saying, I can't teach about slavery. Give me a break. Give me a frickin' break. You can teach about slavery all you want, okay? You can teach the evils of slavery. You can teach... Actually, I made a Twitter post about this. Let me pull this up. Let me pull up my prophetic thoughts. The prophetic thoughts of Chrissy Clark. That's such a joke. It's such a joke. Okay? To call my thoughts prophetic is what I mean. But I was talking about this on X, Twitter, whatever you call it. I'm going to pull this up. Here we go. And you guys can look at it. I said, PSA to all the morons. Yes, I should start more of my tweets that way. You can't teach about Black history, the plight of slavery, and how Black people overcame it. You just can't tell the white kids that they're at fault for the sins of other white people. If you struggle to understand this, you are the problem. Okay? I stand by every word of that. Every freaking word of that. Okay? So morons, if you're hearing me, if you see me, you can still teach Black history, okay? You just can't be a bunch of racist garbage losers. With that being said, it's constantly this thing in, like, liberal circles that progressives, they're the best people in the world, and they're always going to take Black History Month super, super seriously. And the Massachusetts governor has found a new way to celebrate the Black people in the state of Massachusetts. They've decided to say, F you to Black kids and take away one of the biggest recreation spaces in a predominantly Black area, which is obviously used to avoid gang violence, to avoid problems, to help give these kids a space where they can thrive, where they can learn new skills. It's really an awesome idea. And instead, they've said, F you, Black kids, we're going to take your space and give it to illegal immigrants. So yeah, that's a really cool thing that they did, right? It's awful. It's freaking awful. So this is a story, CBS did the story. It said, it's been a quick conversation for the Melina Cass Recreational Center in Roxbury. In place are beds and sleeping bags, play spaces, bathrooms, and other necessity, and it's all to help migrant families arriving in large numbers in the States. Governor Maura Healey began discussions of the idea of turning the complex, which is a recreational facility for Black people, right, or for predominantly Black families, and turning it into a temporary safe site shelter in the past week to help, I guess, migrant families that are living in Logan Airport with no place to go. This is the result of sanctuary cities, okay? And it's just really sad, right? The decision to make this recreational facility a temporary home this is going on from now until May 31st, is for migrant families to just have a place to stay. And that's fine. We want people to have a place to stay. But it's just funny that these people are always like, we care about Black lives. Black lives matter. Okay. And you can find some other way to be politically advantageous towards people, right? So you can find another way to earn people's and minorities' votes. And, they just think, it's kind of a very racist thing to think that, like, oh, Black people always vote for us. Like, what's the point? Like, we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to stress about it. Well, all right. Well, that's not a good way of thinking at all. It's a pretty terrible way of thinking, actually. It's a very racist way of thinking. But that's how these people think, right? So we're seeing this, by the way, at the same time, we're seeing stories out of New York City where New York City schools are closing to give migrant facilities. So these kids are being sent home. They're being told to go on their computers and do school on their computers with no, like, it's not like they have Zoom options, okay? It's just like, go to your computer and do some homework. And if you need a teacher, let us know in advance. Like, I need a teacher every day. I'm a student, okay? And then there was this crazy, crazy story. If you didn't already see it, you can listen to it in my podcast. I really broke it down, which is linked below, by the way, or in my bio if you're watching on Instagram or X. Crazy story out of North Carolina. Y'all. They are literally getting rid of a special education school in favor of turning it into a migrant facility. So all the special needs kids now have nowhere to go. They're going to other schools in the county. And it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic, right? But now, back to that whole Boston story I want to get back to. There's a now viral video of a homeless man who starts just yelling at police officers over the situation because he can't get into the migrant facility. He can't get into the recreational facility, which is now a migrant facility. So the city claims, it uplifts black people, but I just want you to look at how they actually treat them.
Paycheck don't equal to live fucking here. And I've been here my whole fucking because I paycheck don't equal to live fucking here. And I've been here my whole fucking because I can yell. Because I can yell. Because I can yell. And I'm fucking angry. That's why. I hear you. I do hear you.
So he says he's effing angry. He's effing angry because, guys, this is like his place where he would get probably fed, probably taken care of. And listen, I'm not like for this whole welfare state and everything, but we do have to have a place for American citizens who are down on their luck to go, right? I'm not suggesting that we need to build a welfare state or we shouldn't, do something about the homeless crisis or, create policies that really eradicate this at the root cause. But like, are we really putting American citizens to the side? For real? Like, I don't blame this guy for being pissed.
So why can't I get in the fucking building?
You can't get in right now. No one can go in.
Why? Where's the mayor at? Y'all, this fucking town's a fucking sham, yo. It's all about fucking money. It's a fucking money grab. Y'all don't give a fuck about the motherfuckers that was born and fucking raised here. Y'all raised the fucking rent so fucking high.
I apologize for all the curse words of this man, but he's making the point that you care so much about these migrants. You care so much about them, but you don't care, about your own people. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? The city it claims it loves, it uplifts black people, but look at how they actually treat them. We have a black man who likely lives on the street wondering why taxpayer dollars are no longer being used to help him, but instead used on people who illegally entered our country, right? It's weird. All right, let's listen to the rest of his rant.
Can't afford to live here, but y'all gonna bring some other motherfuckers here? That doesn't fucking add up. It doesn't make no fucking sense. None. I'm fucking homeless. I work a full-time job, 40 hours, and can't pay to live here.
Damn, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I watched like the first 20 seconds just to make sure I knew what I was getting, so I could show it to you, but I usually don't watch like the full videos before. I just like to watch them live with you guys. He's homeless and he has a full-time job. Okay, I definitely feel like more bad. Like when people are working hard and still in a problem, I know I'm just an empathetic girl, but like, oh, that gets me. He's so justified. He's so justified in his anger right now. I would be pissed. Okay, let's finish it.
How the fuck are y'all gonna bring somebody else here? Don't make no fucking sense. None.
Right.
He's so right. He's so right. Oh my gosh. We cannot sustain the welfare system we have right now with all the homeless people right now, okay? Look at this man. He needs help. He needs money. He works full time, and it's still not enough, okay? It's still not enough. Couple that with 6 million illegal immigrants entering our country as of now, and Joe Biden probably still wants to let like 1 million more in before the end of the year or before the election, right? He says he doesn't, but he does. Like, let's be honest, right? It's crazy. It's craziness. And yet there are people that really want to vote for this shit. Oh, wait, Chrissy. I keep trying to not swear, but it's really, really hard, guys. It's really hard. Okay. Let's look at the comments. Nick said, isn't Boston where they had the black-only Christmas party? Now they take away their school. Yeah, it is. It is where that's why I was making the comments that like, oh, they uplift black people. Yeah. Unless you can get another voter demographic. It's all about the voter demographics, okay? Not about reality. John said, how come we don't have this much concern about the homeless? They need a place to live too. Yep. Alex said, oh my gosh, his anger is completely justified. And oh my gosh, yeah, you guys can vote in the chat who had a better rant, the Boston man or me. I vote the Boston man because mine was a legitimate joke. His was very serious and very, very sad. But in regards to anybody liking stories like this, crazy stories like this, if you want more stories like this, I call them underreported stories because the mainstream media will not talk about them. I send out an email every Monday to Thursday with exclusive underreported stories. You can always get, like, you guys probably know me for the short versions on TikTok and Instagram, or you can subscribe on my Substack. So it's linked down below or in the bio on X and Instagram. You can get longer videos, links to all the stories. Plus, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and download the Underreported Stories podcast. You can get it on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast, okay? So let's just get into, I'm not out of ideas. I still have 2 more things I want to talk about. But I'm just going to kind of do an update segment, and then we'll head out for the weekend, okay? Oh, who am I, Richard Nixon? Oh. I can't believe it's already the weekend. I feel like maybe it's just because I was sick on Monday, and I still kind of am. But I feel like the week flew by. But let's start out by talking just little updates before you guys head into your weekend. Remember how there was this event that took place on Capitol Hill where a Senate staffer filmed himself in a Senate building doing gay corn. Y'all remember that? Maybe? Yes, no, maybe so? Well, update. Capitol Police say there will be no charges for the Democratic staffer who allegedly filmed gay sex in the Senate office building. So no crime, no punishment. It's going to be totally okay. So United States Capitol Police said Thursday they will not charge anyone in the case of a Democratic staffer allegedly filming himself having gay sex in the Hart Senate office building. Okay? Wonderful. My former coworker Henry broke this story, and he's still a great friend. He's so sweet. He was just crushed it reporting on this like insane video of 2 men filming a corn video inside the Senate Judiciary Committee, and then like, we're gonna do nothing about it. Literally, you guys, nothing about it. No one wants to do anything about it. I see Connie in the comments just like anger emojis. Connie, I feel you. Okay. Let's hear their reasoning. Hopefully it has rationale in this article. USCP says they will not charge anyone in the sex video incident in the Senate hearing room. The statement noted that the staffer, who has since resigned, exercised his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and refused to talk to authorities. Additionally, USCP did not close the door on revamping the investigation if new evidence emerges. For now, we are closing the investigation into the facts and circumstances surrounding a sex video that was recorded inside the Hart Senate office building on the morning of Wednesday, December 13th. So, question. Is resigning, is like losing your job in disgrace and being forever remembered as the man who filmed a gay corn video, is that enough? Should you be charged for doing corn in the Capitol building? Drop a comment. Let me know. Okay. Let me give you my reason for why. Like, when I actually think about it, losing your job in disgrace in the way that this guy did is awful. Like, awful. But I just want you to think, put it into perspective for a second. Think about how upset people got when Senator John Fetterman, didn't wear a suit on Capitol Hill. We were pissed. We were like, this is just regular decorum for being in the Senate. Like, if you can't do this, maybe you're not fit to hold the Senate office, right? We were up in arms about it because, like, dress appropriately. But we have no problem with the guy recording gay corn, any sort of corn. It doesn't even matter that it's gay, just corn in general. We're just cool with that. We're just going to let him off the hook. I saw a comment, let me scroll up, that said, after a long probe into the situation, I'm glad the DC authorities were able to get to the bottom of this. I don't really think they did get to the bottom of it. They just gonna let him go. Let's see what you guys had to say on YouTube. Said the investigation was quicker than the investigation for meth in the White House. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh, I wish I had an update on that. We have no update on the meth in the house, or the cocaine, or the crack, whatever it was in the White House. We have no update on that, of course. No, I don't even know. There are some other things, not to be polarizing, because for some reason, of all the things I talk about in my politics, talking about Michigan, the University of Michigan, is some of the most polarizing part of my job. They clearly cheated. The investigation's still ongoing. I hope that investigation is as quick as the investigation into the gay corn on Capitol Hill. That's all I'll say. Nick said the staffer doesn't get in trouble, but the 86-year-old Midwestern granny gets jailed for walking into the Capitol on January 6th. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Also, I mean, it's not funny. It is funny when you actually don't think about the consequences, but the consequences of it are terrible. The other funny part of this is, like, there are people in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, which is like 30 minutes from me, and they stood outside of a Planned Parenthood and sung Christian hymns, okay? Just jam into Christian songs, sing it outside of an abortion. They're facing 11 years in prison, potentially, for doing that. 11 years, okay? So it's bad. It's bad. Mike said no evidence other than the video. I think the video was damning enough. I didn't really need anything else other than a video to know that, like, you don't film yourself in public. It's, I don't think that one's hard. End of story. Okay, let's get into our final update before we head into the weekend. Do you guys remember, his name was Shane Murnan. Does that name ring a bell to you guys? He was the drag queen principal in an Oklahoma elementary school, okay? So he worked at an elementary school, Oklahoma elementary school, and in his spare time, he would dress up in drag, not just like a little bit of drag, like he was a big drag queen, okay? And Libs of TikTok posted this update this morning saying, breaking, Shane Murnan, the drag queen principal in an Oklahoma elementary school, has resigned. Haya started a conversation discussing Shane months ago and even flew to Oklahoma to their school board meeting where the board protected this dude. But look, according to the Oklahoma drag queen principal quietly resigns after flack. And this is what an elementary school principal for a really long time looked like. And again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not bothered by the fact that this guy's a drag queen. I really don't care if you do drag. It's just that, like, if you're going to be like a rabid drag queen, make sure that it's very, very kept secret when you're a when you're an elementary school. I mean, when you're a principal of any kind, but like an elementary school principal, that's a big one. A big one. Anyway, if you guys have been around for any or all of the stream, just remember that this is how I make money, is coming on and streaming to you guys. So if you feel generous and want to leave a comment of some sort, like some sort of subscription, drop money, whatever, just know I really appreciate it, and I use it to like pay my bills, like, and bring you more awesome content because I want to do this forever. Okay, Nick had one more comment. He said the staffers are famous for the corn video. Probably will get them a better job on MSNBC with the view. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can see this guy who performed, you know, corn in the house buildings. The ladies at the View are gonna have him on, and Joy Reid's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm a big fan of your work. Like, are you, Joy? Are you? And Whoopi's gonna be like, oh, love is love. Love is love. Who cares that? I don't think the Republicans wouldn't have pounced as much if they... The Republicans wouldn't have pounced if he wasn't gay. Like, no, don't have sexual intercourse on Capitol Hill. It's so simple. It's so simple. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Nick, last comment I'm going to take before we head out, said, can the principal at least try to be an attractive drag queen? Low effort. I'm shaking my head. I am deceased. I'm deceased. Anyway, that's all I have for today. As always, like, subscribe. Go check out my podcast if you miss me over the weekend. I'll have a little clip from this video out tomorrow on the YouTube channel, all the things. If you're on Instagram, head over to YouTube, subscribe, become a part of the community. We have some awesome people. John, multiple Johns actually, John H and John F. We got Nick, we got Alex, all the regular gang. You guys know I freaking love you. I freaking love you. So have a great freaking week.